is hard and so are dicks, but like a badass bitch, we can handle it. Hard Things Podcast, we talk about erotic lit fetishes and toys, relationship advice, listen up girls and boys. One's a mother by day and a madam by night. One's a professional girl, she'll get both your heads right. Hard Things Podcast, stay hard.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Oh, I gotta stop laughing at that. How
Can we
are
do the
you
laugh?
doing? You want to hear something cool?
Yeah.
I guess I don't know if it's cool or not. I tried to bake bread today.
How'd that go?
I don't want to say it went bad, but I also don't want to say that it was like a raving success because anything with like cooking or bake, especially baking, because baking is like so specific as opposed to cooking where you can be like, taste this, no, it needs a little bit more salt or whatever. Baking is like science. And I will die on that hill.
And I'm not good at science.
So, but like I have measuring cups and stuff that are for visually impaired people. So I thought
Okay.
I could do this. I want to make rye bread. That's what I really wanted to. And
Oh my God, I
so
love rye bread.
it's so good, right? So I thought, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Talk about hard things. Making bread is not the easiest. It is difficult. And so and I have no bread maker. Like I was literally baking bread from scratch. And so I had attempted to go to the grocery store to get these items like the week of my party just so that I had them. And I could not find everything that I needed because you need rye flour, you need caraway seeds. Evidently, the Kroger near my house doesn't have that shit. So I was like,
Really?
okay, guess what? This is how Amazon turns into a monopoly because you don't have the things I need. And the win is that I do not have to leave my house. So I just went on the recipe that I was looking at. I looked at all the ingredients. I clicked on Amazon and I had all of it shipped in one box to my home. So
Yep.
I got it last weekend, but I was watching my nieces and I was not going to do that with them because you have to know how stuff works before you can show little kids before they can fuck it up. So
Right.
now
Facts.
the cool thing is I have a bread proofing function on
Oh.
my oven because my oven is, new-ish, like months, like less than a year. And I thought, well, this is cool. You make the dough, you put the bread because I used to work at a Subway, and so they
Oh.
have a bread
So you
proofer,
know
and you
what you're
put
doing.
yeah. So I know how the whole thing process works. And so I'm watching this video because I'm better with watching instructions. But what I should have done, like they do for the video, is measure everything out first and then start adding it the way you're supposed to add it. So I put yeast in the bowl with the warm water and I stir it up, whatever, and then you're supposed to wait a couple minutes because it wasn't instant because every place I saw that I trusted, like Martha Stewart, this other guy who's like fairly good, got good reviews on his recipes, has his own book, all the things. And I'm like, okay, I'm listening to these people. I'm not going to do that instant yeast. I'm going to just do this, the full thing. So
Right.
I do that. I put the timer on, I come back. He was like, if it's not foamy at the top, then it's expired. Well, we're good. I got foam. No problem.
Right.
So it tells me these Preppy Chef is the recipe I use. The Preppy Chef.
Oh, okay.
And so I you add honey. So I did the honey and the yeast and the water, stir. Wait 5 minutes. Then you're supposed to add um a little bit of vegetable oil, bread flour, rye flour, caraway seeds, and salt. Salt fucked me up because I have a salt grinder and not
Oh.
salt. And
Right.
so now while all of this stuff is waiting, I like start grinding salt into a bowl so that I could measure the salt. So I stir the thing up like I'm supposed to in the stand mixer bowl. And so you're supposed to like get it all together and congealed and then you put it in the mixer with the bread hook and it goes, right? So I do that, and it was, like, not looking the way it should, so like an idiot, because 'cause I'm used to cooking, I just take, like, a teeny tiny bit of water and, like, I just kinda put it in there.
Mhm.
Well, now it's like Play-Doh,
Oh, no.
which was not the consistency that was supposed to happen. So, I went, never mind that," and I chucked it because 'cause I'm I did like,
I
I'm
don't
not
have time for this
yeah, I
bullshit.
don't have time for well, and I really wanted to at least make one loaf that wasn't
Mhm.
awful. And so I was
Right.
like, "Alright, glad I didn't do the double dose like Martha Stewart. Start off strong."
Right.
So, this time, because now I know, I measured all the dry ingredients ahead of time, and then I went through and I did it, and I put the thing in the mixer, and the mixer, um, appeared to have a bit of trouble, and, like, the motor looked like it was going to die. And
Oh,
I
no.
thought, "Please don't." Like, that's my dad's. And my dad used to bake, and I just got sad about it. And so, I stopped the kneading portion of the mixer probably a minute before the guy told me I should, because I
Mhm.
just didn't trust that the dough was at the correct consistency for the machine to
Right.
not explode. But it was still kneadable, and so I just
Right.
did it by hand. Cause like, think about this, uh, a KitchenAid stand mixer didn't always exist, honestly,
Right.
right? So I'm just like, "Alright, I'm gonna just work it out," which I was doing it one-handed since I can't
Right.
with my bad hand right now, so that was entertaining. So I put it in the bowl with the little wrap thing, and I stick it in the proofer, and I set the timer, and I come back, and it rose the way it was supposed to, so I was like, "Well, this is good news."
Right.
So, they're like, "You take it out, you roll it a little bit, and then you pop the seams, whatever, underneath, and you stick it in, and you let it rise again." Well, the second rise didn't happen to the level that, in the time frame, but I read that sometimes depending on elevation or the temperature outside or the temperature of the
Right.
house, that, like, that could affect that timing. So I just kept it in there for a little bit longer, and I would periodically, turn the light on in the proofer to, like, see it. So, um, it ended up being almost an hour to proof the second time, which, um, is fine. And so I take it out, I put it in a greased loaf pan, I preheat the oven, pop the thing in the oven, and set a timer. And so it says, "To know that the bread is done, you should be able to tap on it, and it sounds hollow." It didn't sound hollow. And I
Oh, no.
thought, "Watch, I'm gonna pull this out of this loaf pan, and I'm gonna be able to chuck it like a football." Like, that's what I thought was gonna and so, I had it in there for the time it was supposed to be in, I took it out, I let it cool, and I grabbed my bread knife, and I'm like, "Dear Jesus, please let it be edible, because I will," like,
Here it goes.
it doesn't have to be great, but I want it to not suck. Because
Right.
usually you could tell where you went wrong by what is happening. And
Right.
so I cut it, and it was a little, um I think I needed to leave it in a little, like I did with the proofing. I think I needed
Right.
to leave it in a little bit longer, and I got um or I misunderstood, like, that, because the loaf on the outside did feel hard like a crust,
Mhm.
that it still probably wasn't 100% done on the inside, and that's why it wasn't hollow yet, but
Right.
I already had taken it out, so whatever. So, I put some butter on that shit, and it was pretty good. Um, but that's good to know, but I did it. I did
Right.
it, and I feel pretty stoked about that because,
That's good.
um, I'm not a good baker usually, I have to watch. I think I have my stepsister, well, both of them, and their mom, they're all like, really good bakers, and so I messaged her, and I said, "When you're in town for the holidays or whatever, can you come over and show me how to bake a couple of things?" Because if I'm, like, watching her in person, I feel like
Right.
I will pick it up a little bit easier than, trying to watch on YouTube when you can only kinda see from a distance,
Right.
and not be, like, up in it, or to have someone that's smarter than you about those things go, Don't do it like that. Do it like this,
Mhm.
right? The other thing that I did was I used, like, actual measuring cups instead of using, like, a food scale,
Mm.
and I don't know if that matters or not, because you know how with flour, like, if you pack it down, then more flour gets in there, which I tried really hard not to do that,
Right.
but I don't know. So, I mean, it's a process, but I tried. So,
You could always ask DJ Khaled, he could probably help you.
yeah, seriously.
You could FaceTime him with the iPhone.
Yeah. Speaking of that, um, he messaged me that and speaking of food and DJ Khaled, which I guess I should be clear, we call her fiance DJ Khaled. I do because when Amy was here, he would text me, um, and then he would text before I could respond, he would text me again and again and again, and so I basically said, "Here's another one, and another one," and so it got to be something. So that's where that came from. But, um, yeah, man, I never understood people that do that, to be honest. To me, it's like, say all this is why I love you, because you and I will be like, "I will send you 25 messages," or I'll send you a voice memo for that's 10.5 minutes long
I
because
won't send you 50 back-to-back texts, but I will send you a 10-minute voice
right,
memo.
but at least then I can, like, instead of reading it, I can pop it in my bra and listen to it while I'm doing a chore, right?
Right?
And so I feel like it gives me the opportunity to multitask, which is what I appreciate. It's why I said that. I love you very much for doing that. You're facilitating my eyes not hurting and the fact that I got shit to do. And so men need to fucking figure it out because I especially when it's short, like, "Awesome. Ding. Thanks. Ding." Like, by the 3rd notification, when you haven't let me go with a full sentence,
Mhm.
I wanna block you. Like, just stop. Like, and I mean stop, like, bitches, STAHP. Stop. Like, serious. But, anyway, back to the food and DJ Khaled. So, he says that I should discuss with you the difference of, um, spooge flavors based upon food.
Okay.
And, um, and he said to me hold on, which this is what you get, yo, when you text me and tell me to talk about it on the podcast because now I'm gonna read it. So, know that that's how that will go from this day forward. So, fuck around and find out. Um,
FO.
let's see. Talk about the food you eat changing the flavor of the man milk or girl syrup. That, that's a direct quote. Um,
Girl syrup.
that's what
Jesus,
that's what
Peggy.
that's what it said. Um, and I said, "Well, it does change the flavor." He said, "It's an interesting topic. Personally, I believe that each person's natural pH is the most important factor. Drink as much pineapple juice as you want. That stuff is still gonna taste like skunk fart garbage." And so I said, "What?" Like, and so I told him, "No, like, if well, within reason." Like, and so, I think he said something I said, "Only if there is an issue medically. You're not wrong about pH being a factor in hygiene, and other foods that you eat. Like, if you eat takeout or processed foods or other things along those lines, then the likelihood of those fluids tasting not the best is higher. It's kind of like when you eat asparagus and your pee smells funny, right?"
Ugh.
I know I'm not
I
a
love asparagus, but I don't like the after effects.
yeah. I see. I don't like asparagus, so that's not an issue.
I love
Um,
asparagus.
and I said, but if someone has an infection or another issue, that well, then you should go to a doctor. And
And
so
not
he
put your
said,
mouth down
yeah,
there.
garlic, onions, and asparagus were all mentioned, in the thing that I guess he, had watched or whatever that made him bring it up. And so I literally thought to myself, that would be interesting if that had a subconscious effect on one of the like A, the main reason that I do not like oral, the main one is because of my nerve damage. But also, I love garlics and onions on everything. And I, uh, eat dinner or lunch at least 3 times a week from fast food places when I'm working or, like, when work brings, um, food, and sometimes it's healthy, but sometimes it's not. And so,
Right.
to me, it's like, "Nah, thanks. No, thanks." Those are 2 really big reasons. But this is where I think it's funny because for the people who have done it, they make comments about or they have made comments about sweetness, and I think
Mhm.
because of the diabetes and the amount of extra sugar in my body that doesn't get broken down, that maybe that helps bypass that.
You
So
got sugar puss.
I know, but it's like, that was not intentional, it's just diabetes. There you go, Wilford Brimley. But seriously. So I did a little deep dive into this since this was a request from, a listener since he definitely listens.
Maybe that's
Um,
why I taste like cookies. It's all that extra sugar.
yeah, just Amy, why are you down in that frosting? Like, what are you eating all that frosting for? Like, I
Can't keep
need
the
the
cookie
sugar.
flavor.
That's hilarious. So foods and drinks that improve taste, so they kind of categorize this as which this is wild to me that how some people don't like the word moist?
Mhm.
It's like to be able to call a fluid milder is a wild descriptive word for that. But sweeter or milder, I guess. Um Fruits high in natural sugars, pineapple, mango, papaya, kiwi, strawberries, oranges, and other tropical fruits. Citrus fruits, lemons, limes, oranges, which um I feel like I would prefer tangerine juice over orange juice, but that's just me. Um they help reduce bitterness and acidity, which makes sense.
Mhm.
Cinnamon and nutmeg, Christmas time. Remember this at Christmas. Um
So I'll have a Christmas cookie.
yeah, gingerbread. Natural sweeteners, that improve aroma. Coconut water and cucumber, hydrating and light tasting, and they dilute bitterness. So if you're
Hmm.
going to that spa, ladies, make
I
sure
don't
you
like
have that
coconut water.
cucumber water with your facial, no pun intended.
That's it. Next time, I'm gonna tell Sean I need some cucumber water.
Or coconut water. I don't like coconut like that. I like the smell of coconut, I don't like the taste of coconut. Um, Parsley, mint, and wheatgrass. Fresh herbs neutralize strong body odors. Okay. And water. Hydrating significantly reduces um the the concentration and odor of fluids. So stay hydrated. If you don't want to stay hydrated through your mouth, go to one of those IV hydration places. I highly recommend it. It is not super cheap, but it is super convenient, especially if you were out drinking before or you're feeling a little under the weather. They run between 50 and like $500 depending on if you are getting extra bonuses and shots or infusions inside of the saline solution. Have you ever done one of those, Amy?
I have not. I would like to do it though. I don't even know if we have anywhere like that here.
Well, if you save up, I think I think the 100 milliliters is like 150 bucks.
Okay.
Um And you sit and you listen to really relaxing music, and they just pop an IV in and you just chillax.
Hmm.
Or if you can here you go, Sean. You guys can come down and we can all just sit and, they have B12 that you can add.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
There's an immune boost cocktail. There's I mean all kinds of stuff. I'll send you the link if you want to look.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on. Foods and drinks that make everything worse. Um Bitter, salty, sour, or musky. Which I mean, there's already gonna be some kind of like guy for whatever reason. I've watched, or I don't know why the algorithm, because I think it's so disgusting. But there's one of the guys I see on YouTube all the time. He
Mm.
always busts chops about men who do not like um clean their balls,
Oh.
right? Or like their undercarriage in a general sense. And I to me, it's like this is I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'll say it again and again. Like, if okay, I take a shower within 15 minutes of someone coming to my place, okay? I
Mhm.
cannot imagine how someone would think, "Yep, it's totally cool that I will have worked all day and just wanna come over and bang it out." Like, absolutely not. Like, even on an awful day, if I was feeling riled up, I would do a whore bath.
Right.
Like, I have baby wipes, you know? Like, what in the fuck? I just don't understand, like, how guys expect women to be all fresh and so clean, and then they just ew. But anyway,
Lift them balls up, scrub them, pull the skin back, wash around the head. Like,
all of it.
put some work in it, man.
Yeah, just I mean, you can't just
Good thing
spray
a
it with,
10-point inspection.
Bath and Body Works, my guy. It's like that joke that's like, when they put the Pine air freshener and someone farted and it just smells like, someone farted a Christmas tree. That's all.
Yep.
That's all. Like, you can't just put an air freshener on your dick and expect it to be okay.
Oh, I just got the weirdest mental
Yeah,
visualization.
I'm here for it.
A dick with a little Christmas tree.
Yeah, just dangling. Like, "Here, pop this on your peen."
You could hang one there and then wrap one around the balls
Yeah.
like a ring.
Oh my god. It's like, "What is the angel on top of that tree doing?"
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
that's fantastic. So pretty much this just is gonna make people very sad. Um, Red meat and dairy, especially cheese and milk, can create a heavier, sour taste due to fats and ammonia byproducts. Garlic,
There go the
onions,
farmers.
and like broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, the sulfur compounds linger in your body's fluids. Alcohol and coffee dehydrate and make fluids more acidic or bitter, which kind of, these are pretty much all of the opposites of the previous. Cigarettes and vaping strongly worsen both taste and smell. Asparagus causes pungent odor due to sulfur compounds, and spicy foods and curry. And that, like, it even adds, like, that can make your sweat taste bad. Like, if you're sweaty and then you get all, like,
Yeah.
icky and um, the body's overall hydration and diet balance matter more than a single food. A clean diet rich in fruits and vegetables and water will generally make any body fluid taste lighter and sweeter within 24 to 72 hours. Avoiding processed foods, red meat, and strong spices before sexual activity improves taste noticeably. Someone else, I saw a girl, I have to look her up and we'll tag her. But she cracked me up and I was like, it all becomes clear. Cause she said something like, people who have sex more frequently look younger.
I just saw that.
I think I sent it to you.
That's right, you did.
And I literally thought to myself, this is why I get asked if I'm 27 when I'm 43. Or, well, let's be honest, probably 32. People think now I'm more 32. But anyway, it is what it is. So, um, that's a little housekeeping since that was a request from Sean. So
Okay.
I found something that was kind of wild. I wanted to um read it to you and get your take on it.
Okay.
Okay. Um, and I'm not going to give you any of my thoughts until the end. So, this is a Reddit story from True Off My Chest, and it says, "I am that one who decided to stay with my cheating wife with conditions." So it says, people familiar with relationship subreddits have probably seen posts where the cheating partner offers all kinds of shit in return for reconciling. Well, I'm one of those who ended up accepting those things. The quick backstory is that I became suspicious when going out with coworkers went from like 5 times a year to 5 times a month or more. One day, when she texted me that she was going to an after work event, I went to the car park at her job and put the dog GPS collar into the trunk. She drove to an apartment building. I checked all the names on the door and then compared them to names on her LinkedIn, and sure enough, she had a coworker who lived there. Won't bore you with all the details, but she ended up confessing after I confronted her that night when she got home. A lot of crying, screaming, pleading. It didn't mean anything, yada yada. Then she went and stayed with her parents. I was set on divorce at first, but every day she gave me the "we can fix this, I'll do anything" speech, and that's how it started to grow on me. That was over 3 years ago. In exchange for not filing for divorce for the first 12 months, the following rules are in place. 1. Post-nup. If she filed or if I filed after the first 12 months, I would get first dibs on the house, still 50-50. There would be no alimony and we would keep any personal assets. 2, no kids. I didn't want kids before this and she was more back and forth. 3, our old joint bank account is now my bank account. It's still being used in the same way, as in we both put money in and then use it for larger purchases, groceries, gas, insurance, etc., but falls to me in case of divorce as per the postnup. She could still use it with a spending limit. 4, she needs to find a new job and cut off all coworkers. 5, cut off one of her friends who knows about the affair. 6, open relationship on my end. Only used this a total of 3 times. Last time it was over a year ago. Fucking hate dating. 7, STD tests. One initial for both, every month for her. For me, only if I slept with someone else. However, we don't do these anymore. It was just a pain. 8, location on her phone. 9, no going out alone without my consent. 10, no alcohol. She used to have a problem with day drinking. This wasn't really a factor in her affair. I just took the opportunity to be rid of it. 11, no complaining about the rules or the post-nup. Obviously, it's a bit more detailed than that, but those are the major points. Questions I can imagine getting. Are you happy? Yeah, I would say so. Still get pissed when I think about it sometimes, but it fades just as quick. It was much harder in the beginning. Is she happy? She says she is and that she doesn't regret it. Do you feel controlling? Yep. Do you still have sex? Yes. I would say an average about the same as before discovering her cheating. It took a long time for us to start having sex again, though. Did you go to couples counseling? 2 sessions. That dude didn't like me very much. She went to a therapist by herself for a while. Pretty much no one knows about all this except you guys, so nice to write it all out. Have a nice day. Edit. Yeah, I know our lives seem dark and depressing based on the above. I get it. I'm a horrible person. But we also go on dates, travel the world, buy each other flowers, cuddle, have friends, play sports, etc., etc. Without evil, there can be no good. So it must be good to be evil sometimes. Satan.
Hmm. That is interesting.
Thoughts.
Um, I don't think I could do it.
Which part?
Like the constantly being monitored thing. Like I know I'm not going to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you have to track me? I mean, I understand trust was broken.
Yep.
And it has to be earned back.
Yep.
But at the same time, like I would be terrified to move. Like what if I'm going down a road and I didn't know it was closed or it's there's an accident and I've got to take a detour
Mhm.
and it takes me 5 extra minutes or 10 extra minutes, whatever, to get home, you see that I detoured off of my normal route and you're like, why the fuck did you not come to your normal route?
Well, but that's provable.
True, that is provable. But at the same time, I would be a nervous wreck.
Mhm.
Like myself, as soon as I came in, I'd be like, hey, I know you watch the app to see where I'm at. I had to go this different route. I
Well,
couldn't
I
help it. There
can't
was no other way to
imagine
get there.
like, he didn't say that he's watching it. I feel like, and it could just be my interpretation, that he has the location if at any times he feels suspicious and he
Mhm,
looks. And because as a person who shares my location with people and other people share theirs with mine,
mhm,
um, I rarely do I check on someone unless we are planning to do something. So, like, which you and I talked about this, and I said it to Sean when you guys were coming down here. I'm like, just
mhm.
share your location. So then I won't call you. I'll just look to see where you're at and I'll know about when you're going to
Right.
get here. Right. And so most of my family is on Find My Friends. And
Mhm.
I will, like, when I went to go visit my brother, I would see where he was so that I would know when to go outside of the airport, right?
Right.
And so, also, as a person who is disabled and has, health issues, if something
Mhm.
were to happen to me, I want someone to find me.
Right.
So, I have mixed feelings because I don't give a fuck, right? Like, if I was the woman in this situation, right?
Mhm.
So I literally I understand both sides and the opposite of both of those things. So, 1, if I was the female in this situation and I had cheated and I got caught and I wanted to be with him, fine. My biggest issue with those things is the um money. Like, I'm not putting all of my money anywhere where I don't have access to it.
Mhm.
Not doing that, right? Like, because even if we file, I'm gonna have my own money. Now he said, like, big purchases, but the way it sounded to me, and I would need clarification, and I don't see it, that it was specific, um, but, like, I'm not gonna put my whole paycheck into this joint account that I don't have access to,
Right.
or that there's a spending limit. No, absolutely not. But I don't care who knows where I'm at. I don't. Like, I have nothing to hide, and if I went on a detour, Um, I would say, well, look at Google Maps. Like, I drove the way Google Maps told me to go, and
Mhm.
that's the only reason I deviate from my original driving, path. And
Right.
if you don't believe me, go drive it. I don't care.
Right.
And that
My
would be
mind
my
goes to apps like, what is it? Live 360.
yeah,
Because a lot of people will use that if
yeah,
they're not like,
an Apple user.
iPhone. Yeah, if they're not an Apple user. And that, as soon as that person starts moving, it sends you an alert. Like, so and so is driving.
Yeah.
Like that would like I would feel freaked out all the time. Like, because it's constantly gonna, even though I know I'm not going anywhere I'm not supposed to, just knowing it dings every single time that I move,
It
I
doesn't
would
have
feel like
to.
I had to justify what I
Sure.
was doing.
That makes sense, and it doesn't have to. You could set because, like, I had a friend of mine who is not an Apple user, and we used to hang out all the time, and she would pick me up since I don't drive, and
Mhm,
so I had it, again, just for those times, and, it would I had it to set only to alert me when she was, like, in my neighborhood.
mm,
So that I could go, "Okay, I'm gonna go meet you outside, so you shouldn't have to get out of the car," right? Or text me.
mhm,
I'll just meet out in the driveway, right? But, it would be funny because she has relatives that live, like, the street over from me, and
oh,
so there
okay.
are there are times where, to this day, I'll get, like, a ding that she's in the neighborhood, and it's not even to come see me. And so, but, like, if yes. If the person was getting an alert every time I got in my car, but my thought, and this is just might be a change in brain, the way brains work. How annoying that you're now gonna get dinged, like ding, ding, ding every time I drive somewhere.
Mhm.
Fuck off. Because to me, I'm going.
Right.
I'm gonna go to Hobby Lobby. I'm gonna go to Chick-fil-A. I'm gonna go to Target or wherever, right?
Mhm.
And if you don't wanna know every place I'm going on a Saturday afternoon, well, then stop following me or turn your notifications off.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I think that, it's
I guess, like, what triggers me the most is, like, coming from some of the relationship background that I have,
mhm,
that, like, I think that would drive me insane.
mhm.
I don't think I could do it.
Well, and that's the other thing, like, a lot of times Reddit stories don't ever have all of the information, right?
Right.
And so I don't even think it says how old these 2 were. Let me just double check. Yeah, there's no ages. So, like, he did say a little bit later, dating sucks. Once you get to a certain age, it
It
totally
does suck.
does, right? And, like, it gets harder and harder the older you are. And so it might just be, well, it's not worth it. Like, it's not worth it to
Mhm.
try to find something else. I would rather just the devil you know,
Right.
right? And so if they both are viewing, um, you know, the traveling and all those positive things that he said, like the exercising and the whatever, what the fuck else did he say? Um, buy each other flowers, cuddle, have friends, play sports, etc., etc. Go on dates. If that's what's important to them and that's what they're doing and they're doing all of those things and that's what your goal is, right? Like if you
Mhm.
said to me, hypothetically, "Oh god, my significant other, um, XYZ," right?
Mhm.
Bullshit stuff, right? Whatever people are bitching about now, right?
Mhm.
And I say to you, "Well, what do you want?" And or you know what? Here's a perfect example, and we've kind of talked about this before. If a billionaire smacks you around, people tend to go, "Mm," and look at that different than if they were like a crackhead.
Right.
That which is so sad. But in the grand scheme, it's like that woman is like, "Okay, well, I have a home. I have all my bills paid. I don't have anything to look at that like there's anything it's not that bad." Which
Right.
is not true. But that's what they're putting the priority on the stability, right?
Right.
And people who are not in a vicinity of the violence would look at someone with domestic violence and they'd say, "What are you doing?
Right. Why are you staying?
Why are you staying?" Because it's easy for anyone outside of a scenario to say, "Just leave that." Like, what are you doing? And we don't
Mhm.
know what is important or why. And I think the
Right.
why is the most important thing. Like, if you were living on the street or in your car with your mom growing up and you never really knew stability, and,
Mhm.
you know, maybe this guy who has all this money only, is emotionally abusive and you lived with that your whole life, but at least you have money now.
Right.
That's how people's brains work a lot, right?
Right.
And so that's why I'm so happy to be a therapist because I will look at people who are going through those things and I will go, "I hear you that
Right.
this is something that is benefiting you for this and that and the other. And I'm not saying leave right now, but maybe let's look inside and be self-aware and like why you feel you deserve this behavior. Are
Right.
you capable of being independent, on your own
Right.
and supporting yourself with boundaries where you're not getting emotionally abused, right?
Right.
And so other people, it's kind of like prostitution, right? I just used this example with a friend of mine the other day. Um, when there's money involved in anything, people sacrifice something, right?
Right.
So it's like, oh, this is a little bit more expensive, but I need this for, whatever. So maybe I won't eat as much food this week because it's cheaper for me to eat less and then but buy this thing that's important, right?
Right.
And so that's how our lives are, especially now with this economy, right? And
Oh my
inflation.
God.
Everything is so expensive. And so you go, okay, well, what's the most important thing? And you have to
Right.
think big picture. So, like, if I get my windows replaced, my heating and air conditioning will be less strong because I have better insulation in the windows because the storm windows are better. But if I spend anywhere between $2,000 and $5,000 to replace my windows, the savings will happen over time.
Right.
But that $2,000 to $5,000 is out of my bank account now, which means
Right.
I have to budget different for other stuff,
Mhm.
right? And so it's why money is so interesting when it comes to relationships and how we joked about, like, man, if every guy that messaged my phone that's like, "Will you watch me jerk off? Will you someone said, "Will you hook up your machine and use it on me?" And I was like, "No." And he said, "How much money would it cost for me to have that happen?" And I literally said to him, "Not enough money." Because it's such a pain to hook that thing up and get it to work in a way that
Mhm.
isn't just, no pun intended, a pain in the ass, right? Um, that I just don't like, I don't wanna do it. And so, like, "Oh, you want me to watch you jerk off and you'll give me 20 bucks to watch you?" I'd take it. I mean, that person didn't offer me money, but, like, I would take money for that. 'Cause I don't care, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just like, what's the thing? So,
Mhm.
anyway, I just wanted your opinion on that because that had come up, and then there's one other, thing that I actually was part of on Facebook because I was like, "Holy shit." So there are 2 groups actually on Facebook for anyone who cares. Um, one that is called From Women to Men, um like, relationship advice,
Mhm.
um, and, like, men will ask a question and only women respond, with the exception of the person who posts can, like, respond to, like, questions, right? And then there's
Mhm.
a from men to women, and so women post and men respond, okay? So this guy and you can post anonymously, which I think is probably a good idea. But this guy wrote, and this is just a direct quote, question for the women. He said, "I am sexually attracted to women, but the sex advice in this group is like chemical castration. It makes me lose interest in having sex with women. I want to know how realistic the advice is. Some of the advice sounds like it's written by lesbians who don't like men at all." Um, he references a person, which I'm not gonna do. But this person's last post was terrible. It's a recent example, but not the only one. His main issues are, quote, "1. The idea that men should be good in bed is something we never heard about women. Why? What exactly are the helpful skills and abilities? 2. Is foreplay just a euphemism for cunnilingus? How important is it actually? It's very gross, uncomfortable, and feels humiliating. Can it be skipped? 3. Timing. It's difficult for men to control erections and ejaculation. Finishing quickly is natural and not something we do on purpose. Everybody knows that, so why is it criminalized? Do women actually constantly count how long their partners last? I literally said, "Yeah," out loud as I was reading this,
Right?
like, the first time. Like, yes, and I've spoken about it on my podcast ad nauseum. Why should men last here we go, Amy. Why should men last longer instead of women trying to last shorter? Is it technically possible for both partners to climax at the same time? 4, how can you keep the romance alive when sex becomes an undesirable chore and an exam? Are there realistic non-andromorphic tips? Tips to make sex better for women without making it undesirable, uncomfortable, or stressful for men. Care to um Do you have any answers for any of those specifically? Do you want me to go through it again?
Mhm.
Um, Men should be good in bed. We never hear this about women. Why? What exactly are helpful skills and abilities?
Well, listening, communication
Yep.
during sex.
Yeah.
If you cannot communicate to whoever you're in bed with, you should not be in bed with anyone,
Facts.
because
Facts.
that is a level of maturity and connection to the person that you're sleeping with is communication.
Yep.
You should be able and be comfortable to say, that's not working. Let's try something else. Or that hurts. Please stop.
Yeah.
Like, you should be able to say those things and they should be able to say those things to you. You should be comfortable enough. I mean, I've had people tell me, hey, this is not working. Let's try something else. And
Yep.
I'm like, okay, cool.
Well,
What do
and
you got
who
in
wants to
mind?
be wasting their time in one position if it's not doing anything?
Exactly. That's why there's different positions.
Thank the Lord Jesus. Well, and so the other thing is, um, I hear about women being bad in bed all the time. I don't know
Hmm.
what he's talking about with the whole,
Oh, yeah.
never heard about women being bad in bed. I told a story, like a month ago or 2 about my
Hmm.
friend, who I'm not gonna say her name. She knows who she is, that just lays there.
Is it me? I'm just kidding.
No, that would be hilarious. I'd be like, "Do you lie all the time?" "Yes, not in the same spot." No, but essentially, like, there were rumors about her, and it's sad, but I get it, like, there are times where I don't wanna do anything because 'cause I'm tired, but usually I
Right.
will communicate that in advance, right?
Right.
Like,
Don't wait until it's happening.
right, like, I said to somebody, the CNC guy, right?
Mhm.
I said to him because he messaged me, he was like, "I'm in your area, I was wondering if you were home, blah, blah, blah," and I said, "Yeah, had a really long day, not really feeling like a performance right now, like, I'm just kinda
Right.
tired," and he said, "I I'll give you a back rub and go to town if you just wanna lay there," and I was like, "I get a back rub?" Because I was, like, really achy, right?
Mhm.
And so he was like, "If you want," and so I was like, "Okay, but please know, I will basically be the equivalent of, like, one of those expensive dolls, because 'cause I'm not going to participate." And he was like, "I don't care," which at the time, I'm like, looking back, I'm like, "Ew," right? But
Right.
at the time, I was like, I knew him and, well, I still know him, obviously, but really good back rub. So it's like I get a back rub, I don't have to do anything, and then he can leave, and I can just kind of go about my day. But,
Mhm.
like, you should say that in advance. So the
Right.
the number 2 was, is foreplay just a euphemism for eating a girl out, basically? How important is it actually? It's very gross, uncomfortable, and feels humiliating. Can it be skipped?
And see, that's the thing. Foreplay doesn't have to be giving oral to someone.
Ding, 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 ding.
Foreplay can be touching, it can be kissing,
Yep.
it can be dirty talk. Like,
Oh,
there's so people just automatically think that foreplay is you got to have somebody's junk in your mouth.
yeah,
And that is not even it at all. You can do nipple
yeah,
stimulation. It doesn't have to be mouth to nipple. It can be toys, it can be fingers. Like, there's so many other things that you can do besides like oral. Like, for me, a big thing is kissing. I know that's not your jam,
yeah. The
but
dirty talk is, though, and that
I love
that's not
the
even
yeah.
touching. Like,
Yep.
just say really gross, dirty things into my ear hole. Like,
Mhm. Right? Send it straight into the brain.
yep.
But,
Well,
like,
because that's the
kissing
thing.
is a big thing for
Skin
me.
skin and your
Mhm.
brain are 2 organs that are huge
Mhm.
when it comes to foreplay.
Mhm.
Work smarter, not harder, you know?
Right?
And
Like,
yeah.
we
And
don't automatically go to oral. Like, it's a lot of kissing, it's a lot of touching. There's a lot of talk in between that. Sometimes, yeah, we might, like, start off to that, like, sometimes I might just wake him up like that, but
well, but
at the
also
same
that's an
time, there's
enthusiasm thing. Like,
yeah.
that's the thing, like, people don't understand, and it's so important. If you are enthusiastic about going down on a girl or a guy, whatever floats your boat, let that be known, right?
Right.
Because, I saw someone say on I don't know if it was TikTok or YouTube, I'm not sure, but he basically was like, "If it looks like a job to you, I don't want you to do it."
Right.
Like, if someone's like, "You wanna give me head?" And I'm like, "I guess," then, you know, it's not as fun
They're gonna
anymore.
give it half an effort.
Yeah, but even then, it's like, sometimes it's like, "Okay, well, I know this is the quickest way to get this guy hard,
Right.
and I might not be 100% in the mood, but I'm not against doing it," right? But it's just like my effort for a day that, like, I'm in the mood for it, as opposed to this is a part of the process, and I'm happy to do that for the process,
Right.
but that's still, like, enjoy the process,
Right.
right? Um But the fact that, like, I wrote in my response to him something like, "The fact that you keep saying, like, a bunch of times throughout this post that you are grossed out, uncomfortable, humiliated is concerning."
Right.
And I was like, "Do you think you might be asexual?" And
Right.
I even wrote, "It is okay if you are."
Right.
Like, if you are not interested in having sex with a person, you do not have to. Nobody said you had to,
You
right?
could be
You could
asexual or
be
you could
asexual.
possibly be bisexual, you could be homosexual. Like, if it's not connecting, the
Well, and
try
like,
something
if
else.
you're physically attracted to women, because you could be attracted to women and not be sexual,
Right.
right? And so I basically said, you can find another asexual woman and you do all
Right.
the cuddling and snuggling and like affection stuff
Mhm.
that has nothing to do with sex, right?
Yep.
And just be happy. But you should not be feeling gross.
No, because that's just I mean, that's not good mentally for you. That's not good mentally for the person that you're with. It's
No,
not good
so
for their
many
emotions.
insecurities, 100%.
Yeah.
Um, Now, I feel like we hit this topic all the time. Um, it's difficult for men to control erections and ejaculation. So, I think I did send you a video, same girl. God, I will find her, you guys. I will find her and I will tag her. Um, but she basically said that the average um like start to finish for guys is 3 to 5 minutes or 3 to 9 minutes, I'm sorry. And that a while back, finishing quick, well, biologically speaking, finishing quick is good because that means the quicker you can get warm sperm to the egg for reproduction is ideal,
Right.
right? And now that people are like, I don't need it for that though, right?
Right.
It's like, okay, well, this is a thing. And then I actually started to think about this because in like book talk and like romance books, if you
Mhm.
think about an actual sex scene in a romance novel, okay? And now next time you listen or read a romance novel, it's gonna stand
Mhm.
out to you because I have been in this headspace for like 3 days trying to figure out how I wanted to talk to you about it. So, the books say things like, um, you know, he picked her up and walked her to the bed, and then, he's kissing her, he's doing this, he gets her off, maybe gets her off again, right?
Mhm.
And then it's like and then he thrusts in, and, you know, in less than a page, he's getting off. So even
Right.
in books that women and the book talk community listen to, even in the books, they're not lasting long, so why are we getting so upset?
Right.
And so then I started asking myself, "Why are you so upset?" And so I had to reflect on that because I talk about it a lot. And
Right.
so I do think there is a positive to being like, "Oh, couldn't hold it back. You're welcome." But I think my grievance isn't with the quickness of the finish. It's the like, oh man, I don't even know
Like
how
the
to
duration of the act itself?
yeah, like, I think that's part of the reason why I like the BDSM stuff is because,
Mhm.
and I explained this to a guy friend of mine yesterday, I wanna say. Like, the guy that I was hooking up with, and I know I've talked to you about it. The guy I was hooking up with a while back, like, pretty consistently, he was like a play partner for all intents and purposes.
Mhm.
He knew he would get off, you know, fairly quickly, and so there would be, like, some ties and some, blindfolds and the whole cuffs and things like that, and then he would get off, and then we would play for, like, 30
Mhm.
minutes after that, where it was just teasing and, it was fun, it was fun,
Right.
right? And then we would go again, and then he would leave. So, start to
Mhm.
finish, the experience, and I think I'm gonna start using that word instead of just, like, sex, because it's
Mhm.
different when there's an
Right.
experience, right? Which now I kind of understand more of the nuance of why BDSM calls it a scene, because it is
Right.
longer than the, 10 minutes of these
Right.
exposures for all intents and purposes. So,
Right.
I think it was more fun, even if we hadn't had sex again after his initial finish. It
Mhm.
was just an experience, and it was fun, and I
Right.
think more people need to have fun with it.
Right.
That's the goal. So,
Oh, yeah.
anyway,
Absolutely.
people wrote some things, um, like one person wrote, "A man being, quote, good in bed isn't a big deal. The emotional connection along with chemistry and being able to feel him deep inside her is a beautiful and satisfying thing." Um, let's see. Another guy said, "I'm a man, I got you. Be good in bed. Easiest way is to pay attention to her body language," which is not bad
R
advice.
right.
Don't be afraid to communicate about it. Um, you could look at videos. There's, he said real educational videos of a mature, serious nature, which
Right.
that's smarter than like go watch the porn. Um,
Right.
no, it means foreplay is kissing, caressing, creating a comfortable, unrushed feeling for your partner. Um,
Right there, buddy.
right? Assuming it's not a passionate one-nighter, maybe say the phrase, "Let's take our time, we don't need to rush and slow down and be in the moment." He also said, "Women know this and, about the romantic partner not just being a fling. It won't matter
Mhm.
as much, but, it can be if it can be a problem of, like, premature ejaculation, then Google that." Which I thought was a pretty decent, um, response from a guy.
Right.
So, those were some of the things that,
I'm
um
like, that's the thing, like, with between Sean and I, it's not just a you just dive right in there.
Mhm.
Like, he makes sure he makes sure I go a couple of times before we even get to the main act itself. And even then, I don't know, Sean must be like an anomaly or something. Um, like we can switch up positions for a while and do different things. And like then he will finally be like, splooge. Um, so like I don't know. I think it depends on the person too. Like, I've had a couple of guys where it's like pump pump nut. But then I've had some that it's like turn this way, turn that way, and like you go for a little while before like the main event finally happens. So I think a lot of it too is just the person.
Yeah, and I mean, I agree. I think communication,
Communication.
it's, you know,
We should write a song about communication.
that's a fact. We need Charlie Puth.
Right? Oh my god, that was so cool.
Like,
How he did that?
he does all kinds of shit with, like, weird noises. I wish I'll tag his ass in it too, because I watched the Professor Puth, like, series on his YouTube channel, and it's,
Mhm.
like, freaking cool. So
He's so brilliant.
he is. It's like, and he can, like, his brain is like a symphony, and I'm here
Mhm.
for it. I'm here for
Oh
it.
yeah.
Like, the just all the things. He's just a gem. He's a gem, that one.
Right.
Facts. So anyway, hope you guys all learned something today. I don't know. Or maybe frustration at, the way people are doing things. But anyway, communicate with others, communicate with us. Hardthingspodcast@gmail.com. If you have any thoughts or feelings or whatever, I feel like I want to have some kind of reward for the top 5 people who post a comment or a question or something. So we should think about that.
I will send you a pair of my panties or socks.
Interesting.
Depending on what you're into.
Yeah. Request something. We'll work it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so hardthingspodcast@gmail.com if you have any questions, thoughts, concerns, topic ideas that you want us to talk about, opinions on it, send us some stories if you want our opinion on it. You can find us on all of the places you can get your podcasts at, and mostly YouTube though. YouTube and Facebook, you will see all of our shit. So, well, most of it. Anyway, have a good rest of your night, and as per the usual, say the thing.
Stay hot.